In Australia, a small group of people holds a truly staggering amount of wealth, building industries that shape the entire economy. The total wealth of the nation's 200 richest people hit an incredible $667.8 billion in the latest rankings. But among them is an even more exclusive group, a community whose impact goes way beyond their billions. So, who are the 10 richest Jewish men in Australia? In this video, we're counting them down. We'll reveal their net worth based on the latest available 2025 data, look at the empires they've built, and explore how their incredible philanthropy is changing lives across the country and the world. You might be surprised who's at number 1. What's amazing is that many of these stories don't start with privilege, but with peril. They are tales of refugees and immigrants who arrived with almost nothing and, through pure grit and determination, built dynasties that now define Australia's corporate landscape. From property and retail to packaging and global commodities, their influence is everywhere. Stick with us as we unpack the incredible stories behind these fortunes. Number 10. The Smorgon family. Kicking off our list is a name that was once synonymous with being Australia's wealthiest, the Smorgon family. We're including them here not as a single individual, but as a legendary dynasty. While their massive, centralized empire was famously broken up back in 1995, the wealth they generated over nearly 70 years continues to support one of the country's richest and most philanthropic families. The collective wealth is fragmented now, but various branches of the family consistently rank among Australia's richest, with a combined net worth deep into the billions. The Smorgon story is the classic 20th century immigrant tale. It all started in 1927 when Norman, Moses, and Abram Smorgon, along with their father, fled anti-Semitism in Russia and landed in Melbourne with nothing. They started a kosher butcher shop in Carlton, and from that humble beginning, they built Smorgon Consolidated Industries. Their growth was relentless. From meat, they expanded into paper, packaging, plastics, and steel. At its peak, the Smorgon Empire was the largest private company in Australia. But in 1995, in a move that shocked the business world, the patriarchs decided to sell it all off and split the proceeds among 150 family members to avoid future disputes. The family's most enduring legacy, however, might just be their philanthropy. They are one of Australia's most generous families, having given away hundreds of millions over the decades. Their name is all over hospital wings, university departments, and art galleries, setting a benchmark for giving back that has influenced generations of wealthy Australians. Number 9. Maurice Alter. At number 9, we have the late Maurice Alter, whose life is a powerful example of the immigrant success story. Even after his passing, the property empire he built continues to place his family on the nation's rich lists. Based on recent financial data, the Alter family's net worth is estimated at around $2.64 billion. Maurice Alter was born in Poland to a Jewish family around 1925. His early life was destroyed by the horrors of World War II, where he was interned in a Nazi prisoner of war camp and was the only member of his family to survive. He fled to Australia in 1949 as a displaced person, arriving with nothing, and initially working as an electrical engineer. But his entrepreneurial drive quickly led him to real estate. His first investment in the mid-1950s was small, 2 shops and a bank in a Melbourne suburb. From that tiny seed, a colossal empire grew. In 1979, he founded the Pacific Group, which went on to develop some of Melbourne's most iconic suburban shopping centers like Werribee Plaza and Pacific Epping. His philosophy was all about the long-term value of land, not just the buildings on top, a common theme you'll see on this list. Maurice Alter appeared on every single Australian rich list from its start in 1984 until his death, a remarkable record of success. Number 8. Nathan Werdiger. Coming in at number 8 is another giant of Melbourne property, Nathan Werdiger. Like Maurice Alter, Werdiger's story is one of incredible resilience forged in the Holocaust. His journey from an Auschwitz survivor to a billionaire property magnate is one of the most inspiring in Australian business. The latest estimates put the Werdiger family's fortune at approximately $2.7 billion. Born in Poland, Werdiger survived several concentration camps but tragically lost his parents and 4 sisters in the Holocaust. He arrived in Australia in 1949 with no money and little English and started a small knitting mill called Classweave. The real turning point came in the 1970s. Using profits from his successful textile business, Werdiger started buying commercial property in Melbourne CBD. His timing was perfect. His company, Juilliard Group, now owns some of Melbourne's most important office towers and hotels. Nathan Werdiger's philanthropy was extensive and deeply personal. As a survivor, he dedicated a huge portion of his wealth to supporting Jewish education and Holocaust remembrance. He was a key figure behind the creation of Melbourne's Jewish Holocaust Center, a place of memory and education. His story is about a life rebuilt, a fortune made, and a lasting impact that can be seen in both the Melbourne skyline and the community he so generously supported. Number 7. David Goldberger and David Wieland. At number 7, we have a dynamic duo, David Goldberger and David Wieland. This incredible partnership has spanned decades and completely changed the Australian fuel and convenience store game, not once, but twice. Their combined net worth, according to recent Rich List data, is around $3.2 billion. Their story starts in the 1970s. The two friends noticed the Australian petrol market had no real price competition. So they started Solo Oil in 1975 with a simple, revolutionary idea: sell discount petrol. They bypassed traditional suppliers, found cheaper fuel, and passed the savings to customers. It worked, and Solo Oil grew into a major player. They sold the business in 1989, but couldn't stay away. In 1995, they came back with Liberty Oil, using the same high-volume, low-margin formula. But their biggest hit was still to come. In the early 2000s, they partnered with Coles-Myer to create Coles Express, combining their fuel expertise with Coles' massive retail footprint. It quickly became one of Australia's biggest fuel retailers. Like many others on this list, they understood that the land their stations were built on was a massive asset in itself. A huge part of their wealth is now in a vast commercial property portfolio. Both men are intensely private, and their philanthropy is similarly quiet, supporting various causes within the Jewish community and wider Australian society without seeking the spotlight. Number 6. Solomon Lew. Cracking our list at number 6 is arguably the most influential and feared man in Australian retail, Solomon Lew. For decades, he's been a corporate raider, a retail visionary, and a kingmaker. According to the Australian Financial Review's 2025 Rich List, his net worth is a formidable $4.11 billion. Born in Melbourne in 1945 to Polish Jewish immigrants, Lew started his business journey early, supplying dresses to the Myer department store as a teenager. He built his fortune importing goods, but he's best known for his investment vehicle, Premier Investments. Premier controls household names like the stationery giant Smiggle, sleepwear label Peter Alexander, and clothing brands like Just Jeans and Portman's. Lew's business style is legendary. He's known for his aggressive tactics and his sharp eye for a deal. A perfect example is his long and often fiery relationship with Myer, the very store he first supplied. In a landmark 2025 deal, Myer acquired several of Premier's apparel brands, cementing Lew's influence over the historic company. Solomon Lew is another of the remarkable few who have appeared on every single Australian Rich List since its inception in 1984. In 2016, he became the first Australian inducted into the World Retail Hall of Fame. His family has been a significant contributor to various causes, including health, medical research, and Jewish community organizations. We're just getting to the heavy hitters on our countdown of the 10 richest Jewish men in Australia. We've already heard incredible stories of survival, sharp innovation, and pure empire building. If you're finding these stories as wild as we do us a favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and ring the notification bell so you don't miss what's coming up next. Now, let's get back to the list and see who's in the top 5. The the numbers are about to get a whole lot bigger. Number 5. John Gandel. Coming in at number 5 is a man whose name is practically synonymous with Australian shopping, John Gandel. His fortune was built by changing the way Australians shop, and his generosity has enriched the nation's cultural life. The Australian Financial Review's 2025 Rich List puts his net worth at an impressive $7.21 billion. John Gandel was born in Australia in 1935, the son of Jewish immigrants from Poland who ran a small corsetry store in Melbourne. That humble family business, Sussin, was the springboard for his massive success. But Gandel's real genius was his pivot to property. In 1983, he bought the Chadstone Shopping Centre for $37 million. His vision for Chadstone was incredible. He transformed it from a simple suburban mall into a world-class shopping destination. Today, the fashion capital is the largest shopping center in the Southern Hemisphere, now valued at over $3 billion, and it's the cornerstone of his fortune. Like others on our list, John Gandel is one of the elite few to appear on every Australian Rich List since 1984. Gandel's impact doesn't stop at business. With his wife Pauline, he runs Gandel Philanthropy, one of Australia's largest private philanthropic funds. They are huge supporters of Jewish and broader Australian causes, focusing on education, health, and the arts. Their name is on galleries and museums, and their foundation has supported countless community programs. Number 4. Sir Frank Lowy. At number 4, we have a true patriarch of Australian business who fundamentally changed the country's social fabric. Sir Frank Lowy. As the co-founder of Westfield, he didn't just build shopping centers, he created the modern town square. As of May 2025, his net worth was a staggering $10.28 billion. Sir Frank's life began in 1930 in what was then Czechoslovakia. His story is one of survival against the darkest forces of the 20th century. During World War II, he lived in a ghetto in Hungary to survive the Holocaust. His father was taken to Auschwitz and never seen again. After the war, he eventually made it to Israel and fought in the 1948 Arab-Israeli War. He arrived in Australia in 1952 and, with fellow immigrant John Saunders, started a small delicatessen. But they had much bigger plans. They saw the potential for American-style shopping malls in Australia's booming suburbs. In 1960, the Westfield Development Corporation was born. Under Lowy's visionary leadership, Westfield dominated the Australian market before expanding into the United States, New Zealand, and the UK. In 2018, an era ended when Lowy sold Westfield's international operations for $16 billion. Sir Frank is another of the 7 remarkable individuals who have been on every Rich List since 1984. His philanthropy is just as monumental. He established the Lowy Institute, which has become Australia's leading foreign policy think tank. He has also donated tens of millions to medical research and has been a profound supporter of Jewish and Israeli causes. Number 3. Ivan Glasenberg. At number 3 is a true global titan of industry, Ivan Glasenberg. While he now lives in Switzerland, the former CEO of Glencore holds Australian citizenship and has deep ties to the country. He's a giant in the world of mining and commodities trading, known for his aggressive deal-making. The 2025 Financial Review Rich List pegs his net worth at an incredible $13.28 billion. Glasenberg was born in South Africa in 1957 to a Jewish family. After getting degrees in accounting and business, he joined the commodity trading firm Mark Rich & Company in 1984, working in the coal department in South Africa and Australia. That company eventually became Glencore, and Glasenberg's rise was swift. He became CEO in 2002. Under his leadership, Glencore had one of the largest IPOs in history in 2011, which instantly made Glasenberg and his top deputies billionaires. A couple of years later, he engineered the massive merger with mining giant Xstrata, creating a behemoth in the global resources sector. He became an Australian citizen in the 1980s while working for the company here. Since stepping down as CEO in 2021, Glassenberg has been managing his immense personal fortune, and his investment decisions are watched closely around the world. Number 2. Anthony Pratt. Taking the silver medal is Anthony Pratt, the larger-than-life cardboard king and executive chairman of the VC packaging and recycling empire. Pratt runs the world's largest privately owned packaging and paper company, with huge operations in Australia and an ever-expanding footprint in the United States. According to the 2025 Financial Review Rich List, the Pratt family's fortune sits at a massive $25.85 billion. Anthony inherited the family business from his legendary father, Richard Pratt, in 2009. Born in Melbourne in 1960, Anthony moved to the U.S. in the 1990s to lead the expansion of Pratt Industries. He built the American business from the ground up, focusing on recycling plants and mills that use 100% recycled paper. Pratt is famous for his flamboyant personality and incredible networking. He's known for his bold investment pledges in American manufacturing, which have earned him praise from U.S. presidents. Though he now primarily lives in the U.S. after being granted a green card, his family's wealth remains deeply rooted in Australia. The Pratt family's philanthropy is almost unrivaled in Australia. Continuing his parents' legacy, Anthony has made enormous contributions across arts, health, and community organizations. He even made a public pledge to give away $1 billion to charity before he dies. And now, at number 1 on our list, the richest Jewish man in Australia and often the richest person in the entire country is the unstoppable property developer high-rise Harry Trigubanov. For over 60 years, he has relentlessly shaped the skylines of Australia's biggest cities. According to the 2025 Financial Review Rich List, his personal net worth is a monumental $29.65 billion. Harry Trigubanov was born in 1933 in Dalian, China, to Russian Jewish parents who had fled the Russian Empire. He grew up in the Jewish community of Tianjin before his family moved to Australia in 1948. His early career was a mixed bag. He ran a taxi fleet and had a milk round, but his destiny was property. In 1963, he built his first apartment block and founded his company, Meriton. This was the start of a housing revolution. At a time when the Australian dream was a house with a backyard, Trigubanov gambled on high-density living. It paid off. Meriton has since built over 79,000 apartments, mainly in Sydney and Queensland. Trigubanov's model is unique. Meriton controls almost everything from construction to sales and property management. This has made his empire incredibly resilient. An Oxfam analysis noted the increase in his wealth in the 2024 to 25 period alone was enough to fund the construction of around 10,600 homes. He is the living definition of a self-made billionaire and has appeared on every Australian rich list since 1984. So, that's the list, the 10 richest Jewish men and families in Australia. From the sprawling property empires of Harry Trigubanov and John Gandel to the global might of Anthony Pratt and Ivan Glassenberg, their influence on the Australian economy is undeniable. But what makes these stories so powerful isn't just the money, it's the recurring theme of the immigrant and the refugee. Men like Frank Lowy, Harry Trigubanov, and Maurice Alter, who came to this country after surviving one of the darkest chapters in modern history with little more than the will to build a new life. They grabbed the opportunities Australia offered and created dynasties. Their paths to wealth were overwhelmingly through foundational industries, property, and retail. And as we've seen, their impact goes far beyond the boardroom. They are some of the nation's greatest philanthropists, pouring hundreds of millions, if not billions, into art galleries, hospitals, universities, and community organizations. They have truly enriched the fabric of the nation that gave them a chance. What did you think of our list? Were there any names that surprised you? Let us know down in the comments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive, give this video a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more content just like this. And be sure to check out our other video on the biggest business rivalries in Australia next. We'll see you in the next one.